everyone. How are you today? I'm so excited to have you join us. We are going to be playing with the beautiful craft a flower pansies today. So excited to revisit an old friend. Not that old, but a little bit, in the realm of crafty supplies. We have so many beautiful things at our ready to go. Hello, everyone. But I thought we'd have another look, and we're gonna also I know I've shown it before. I've kind of crafted with it before, I think, but the beautiful Altenew Blends paper pack, JC made me do it. So usually it's Jennifer McGuire made me do it, but JC Gaspar made me do it. I saw him create a project for this, had to get it. So we're going to flip down the camera and we will get started with our crafting. I would like to do 3 cards today, so we will see how that all shakes out, as you know, because I could just keep crafting all day long with you guys. All right, so the first thing we're going to do is just show you the Pansies layering die set. If you have not seen it, it's one of our amazing keyhole design system. This one it has the original arrow. That was one of the original shapes. And then it has the diamond shape. So love diamonds, love the diamond shape. And then we've got our beautiful pansies, our beautiful leaves, flower centers. So we'll get going with those. I also, something I'm in love with that I wanted to bring back was the Honeycomb Daisies cover die. I just love this. I love this if you're creating a background and using it as a cover die, but it's also beautiful to add a little detail here and there. So almost using it like a stencil. So we're going to go ahead with the Pansies die set, and we're going to be die cutting today. So I'm going to go ahead and get and I have a new die cut machine. I have said goodbye to my old one. We bid fair due, and now I'm using my new one. So I'm excited about that. I also have some pieces of cardstock that were left over from trimming some panels to fit into my stamp wheel. So I'm going to use those because use what we got, right? We don't want to waste. All right, so the first one, we're going to go ahead and we're going to do this out of cardstock. Ooh, ripping off the tape. See, I'm like a bull in a china shop here. So this one, we're going to ink blend on. Okay, I had 3 card ideas. Now I've lost the third one. I guess it goes that way sometimes, huh? All right, so we're going to put this on here. And so we put... Oh, it confuses me. Okay, I am the old dog in this scenario here, learning those new tricks. I don't know if I am, ready to learn new tricks. I knew the old tricks. I knew the old method, but change is good. Change is good, dear friends. So I'm just changing with the times here, trying to stay hip, as the kids say. All right, so there we go. I got that in place. Then I can just add a small piece of my satin masking tape here. And because I have fake nails, it's hard to get it started. So I just use my scissors or my tweezers to help get it started. And I can just go and put that there. That way I know it's not going anywhere. I'm more worried about the paper. I'm not worried about the dies because they've been magnetized down there. All right, so run that through. And then we're going to choose some papers out of here. Hello. Oh, good. You're riding in the car. I was going to say, Barbara, I hope you're not driving. I would not recommend that. That would be very, very scary. Although I love that you would tune in. All right, so I'm just going to pull all my pieces that we're going to ink blend. And I also pulled, because I know that some of you guys, these are your faves, I pulled the Blue Mountains and Frosted Foliage out as well because, we just got them in artist markers. So I thought, hey, why not? Why not? All right, so then I like to remove if there's any, because you may be like, why are you moving your dies? They're in place. But I like to remove any of the pieces that did not pop out, okay? Because I want to get a clean cut every single time. So if I have that in there, it will push that paper down into the cardstock. Is it really a big deal for what we're doing? No, not really a big deal. But if you get in the habit, you'll be better off if you're doing something where it is a big deal. Okay, let's pick. This is the pansy. Yes, the craft a flower pansy. So we're going to pick two because I want one for my flower centers, right? So I want some yellow. Look at this. I mean, come on. Look how beautiful. I want to make one in every color. And actually, you know what? Let's go wild and let's pick two. So let's do this one. Okay, this one we will do for our flower centers. Just a little smidge off the corner. Oh gosh, I love that one. Okay, and we need one for our leaves. So leaves are easy to decide. I like that blue and I like that purple. So I like that kind of color combo there. So we're going to do that. I know I love, see, I'm glad you said that. Thank you so much, Vicki, for saying that, because I do too. And I feel like, you know, sometimes you guys may come on to the live and you're like, oh, craft a flower again. But I love them so much. So they're my favorites. You know, I love all the kits for different reasons. So I guess I shouldn't say they're my favorites. I don't want to hurt any kit's feelings. But I do love me a craft a flower because you can watercolor, you can cut it out of paper. You can do so many things with it. And then you cannot pick up your die. Holy Toledo. This magnet is like not joking. It is the real deal. Holy Toledo. And now I'm magnetic to everything. I just can't pick up the one thing I want to pick up. Okay, so I'm just going to cut a little itty bitty center because I don't want to waste any of this paper because I love it. And, well, maybe let's go this way. Okay, and then I can decide what I the section I really want to put it in. Now, this is how much I love you guys. I'm cutting into new pieces of paper with this because I love you all so much. All right, and then we want the right side of the paper. That other yellow is really pretty too. It's just not the aesthetic or the look that I'm going for today. You know how you have moods with picking things? Well, that's kind of just my mood with picking it today. This is the color that I'm really feeling. So we're going to put that up over there, and that's all secure. So let's go ahead. And the great thing about this is you get to kind of play with placement of this. Now, the important thing is to know your dies, okay? So when you're placing it, if you're using the Altenew blends, or if you say you've blended a beautiful panel and you want to use it, this die right here, the arrow's going up. That's the one that's on the bottom. So for me, I want that to be the darkest. So then I've got to kind of look, and that's over here. So I want that to kind of be the darkest, which I think it's just going to give us a really pretty look no matter where we put it. I think it's going to be really beautiful. So I don't think, you know, placement is really a problem. It's going to be very pretty wherever we put it. This paper is just, I mean, I like this paper for just a really clean and simple background myself. Like I could just trim this to a card panel and put like one of our hot foiled sentiments or even like the timeless sentiments I could see putting on here and just using that because it's so pretty. Okay, and same thing. So there's this one that would be the darkest. So you could cut this twice, but you know, I'm just gonna, my darkest is over there. So I'm just gonna kind of play with placement just a bit today. And that's the thing too, is if you're like in a zone where you are crafty drained, like you have no more inspiration, you just don't know what to do. It's your supplies feel like they're taunting you. This is a great thing to do because there's not really a lot of thought. You pick a piece of paper, you have a die set, off you go. And I think the more, especially when you're in a situation where you are out of crafty mojo. When you can have something that takes a lot of the decisions out of your crafting. So say you have to just stick your hand in the basket and grab any craft a flower. Then grab this paper pack and off you go, my dear friends. And if you don't have this paper pack at home, then grab some blends, grab a family of colors and then go ahead and that's what you use. So it's the same. You can do this at home. It's so much easier and they're so beautiful on the paper. If you can just do it, with the paper pack, it's so simple and so wonderful. So I highly recommend the paper pack, especially if you're in that kind of, crazy zone where you're having trouble figuring out. And look, and that color is pretty. And then I think that's what's going to happen to you guys too, is you're going to see and you're going to be like, oh, but that color is pretty and that color is pretty. And then the crafty slump will be gone, my dear friends. You will be creating again. Yes, that's a great idea too, is using the ink. Last line, so you can put the paper right down, right side up, and die cutting down specific. Oh, okay. It cuts into the mat, which eventually needs. Oh, I thought you weren't supposed to do that. Thank you. I don't know if you caught it at the beginning, but I'm a complete newbie with this. So I have no idea what's going on with the mat. So thank you very, very much for that tip. I love any good crafting tips. I'm ready to go. Okay, and while we have the machine going, I think we're going to go ahead and we're going to do the honeycomb die as well. Okay, so I'm trying to make sure I'm not losing any pieces. I got those little diamonds and I'm like, oh, is it a piece of the flower? Okay. Now, you could just do a strip. So if you wanted to, you could just do a strip down the side of your card with this just to add some interest. So you don't have to use the whole thing if you don't want to, but we're going to use the whole thing because we can, or most of it. I'm going to align one side. See, one side's kind of going off, and that's okay because this is bigger than an A2, so I'm going to cut it anyways. So, oh, this is lining up pretty good though. Okay. So then we're just going to tape this on. Thank you, Liz. I desperately need to go see Linda and get them redone. But life has been busy lately, like no joke, very busy. So I kind of pushed that to the back. But thank you for saying they're pretty because I do enjoy them. It's my me time. We talked about having self-care and doing things for yourself, like in the mindfulness retreat. And yeah, this is my thing I do just for me, my time out, so to speak. All right. Okay. Making sure I didn't leave any pieces in there. I forgot I needed my magnet mat. I was like, oh, I'll just leave everything over there. Best laid plans, my friends, best laid plans. Okay. Pull these up. This magnet, seriously, if you need a good magnet, this magnet is no joke. It is a tough fella. All right. So we're going to go ahead and we're going to put this through. Okay, so that's down. There we go. Da, da, da. Okay. I probably will run this through twice. It's very, very intricate. Yes, it is, Angelique. And it's something that we struggle with, though, isn't it, my dear? That is the one thing, like we take care of the cats and the dogs and the kids and, friends and everybody else. We're very good at taking care of people. I think as crafters, it's just in us. We like to take care of people. We like to help people. And so I think it's more important when you have that kind of vibe, to really take those moments for yourself when they come. And yes, I can't see who said love the papers. Yes, love the papers. I have amassed quite a collection of this one paper pack. We'll put it to that way. And look at this. Beautiful, 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 beautiful. Now, when I did this with my manual machine, it did take a few run throughs because it was intricate. I forgot to use my, full disclosure, forgot to use my little metal shim, and I remembered that today. Look at that. I mean, come on, look at that. So gorgeous. Just peel the tape. I did not stick the tape to my hand to get off some of the oils or some of the stickiness, to use the oils to get off some of the stickiness. So that is why you are seeing a little bit of pulling up. Hi, Wendy. Hello. All right. So I'm trying to get these all in the trash can because I was going to cut 2 of these. So like I said, it's good to clean your die because you don't want to have those little pieces of paper pushing in areas, making more of an indentation than you want to. Now, another fun thing that you could do with this die is you can also emboss with it. Okay, so don't forget that. We could also, I could show you the embossing as well. So we'll do another one. We'll run this through. Okay. Again, I'm just going to use those same pieces of tape. Now they'll be less sticky because they've already been used once. Okay. And then we will pick this up and put that down. All right. So yeah, it depends on the machine you have on your little plate sandwich there. So make sure you check your, yes, Serena. Yes, that is a very good treat to yourself. It's the treat that gives on giving, really, because there's so much and you can go back to it too. So you can just bring those products out again and have another day to yourself and create and be inspired. They are so much fun to go to the retreats. All right. So there we go. We have 2 backgrounds. And I thought about this long and hard. I'm going to be honest. I am, and I feel better. Kelly Taylor mentioned it in an interview the other day. She said she's matchy. And I am too. I like my cardstock textures to match. I struggle mixing and matching cardstock textures. I know it's silly. It's so silly, but I really, really do. I was proud of myself. I mixed watercolor paper and regular cardstock the other day. So this is one of my things that I am working on and growing on. We all have those things that, we're working on. So today is a big growth day for myself because I'm going to mix those textures where I have that beautiful shiny paper and I'm mixing it with just a regular cardstock. All right, so let's pull in these guys. Oh, these guys, so pretty. All right, so we're going to get these in sectioned out. Now, again, you have the arrow and we have the little triangle. Oh, it's a triangle shape. See, I went right to diamond. I went right to diamond. I'm like, oh, diamond. Nope, triangle. I got overly excited here. All right, so there we have our leaves. And the great thing is, too, it's very easy. So, see, I could just flip that piece of paper over, the one that I did the greens, and look, I could get some beautiful teals, which I think would work with this color combo as well. Yes, Kelly does have a class coming up. Yes, and it is amazing. Amazing. So very excited for that. There is a Facebook group for folks that are in the class so that you can come have a chat. Some folks have started creating projects with the markers, and oh my gosh, you guys are just amazing. So that's another plus to this, is that you have a color on the back. And the other reason I like this is with ink blending, right? I'm going to have color on one side. So if, let's say, a card detective comes along and he looks at my card underneath, he could be like, oh, okay, yep, she used, yep. But here he's going to be like, oh, white paper. Now, I don't know what cardstock detective is going to come along. I don't know if like Monk is going to start picking up cardstock detection or anything like that, but All right. And then another dear old friend is coming on the scene today. I feel like when we craft together, I like dear old friend day. My ultra sticky mat, just such a fabulous friend. Yes, Monk would be a great card detective. He would be. I just finished watching Monk again. I've watched it so many times. I love Tony Shalhoub. I just love Tony Shalhoub. He's just adorbs. Okay, so here we go. So on the back, of course, we have the layering guide. This comes anything that layers, you get a layering guide. There's also for the layering products, there we go, and the monthly releases, there are product videos that will walk you through how to do this. These are great to keep near you. I just like to have them just because, you never know when you're going to need it. All right, and I am going to use a liquid glue today because the paper has it's a slicker surface. So I am going to go ahead and I am going to use a liquid glue today. You could definitely put the double-sided sheets or the ultra sticky tape. Let me tell you, ultra sticky. So you definitely could do that. The other tip I have when doing these is match your layering guide. Okay. So all I'm doing here is I'm looking, and as I pick up the piece, I'm putting it in order. Okay. So then I'm not confused when I get there. It's less confusing to find what piece goes with what. Okay. So then I'll put that there. And then I'll move that up there. Hopefully I don't throw that away. Let's actually take that off and let's put that. I may get overzealous when this is when we're done with our our live and throw it out. So let's not do that. Okay. And then I like to do the same thing down here. I just look at the shape and I'm like, okay, this is the second piece. And then the bow tie is the third piece. And then this one is upright. So this is the first piece. And then I have this one where the triangle is upright, but the flower piece goes down. That's my last piece, besides my cute little flower center. Okay, so we've got all our pieces. Let's go ahead and we'll put them in order. Okay, so we got our first piece here, our first arrow piece. So I'm going to take arrow piece number 2 and get my glue just very carefully because I don't want to over glue when I'm on my sticky mat. And then I just line up the arrow or whatever piece. We have diamonds, we have arrows, we have triangles, arrows. We have like an oblong shape. It almost looks like a rounded rectangle now. We have, what was the other one? We had another one. There's a cross. Sometimes it helps you layer up pieces. Okay, there we go. Now, the other fun thing, yes, you could do hot foil on this. Hot foil, I actually have hot foiled on this, and it's gorgeous because of the blend, and then the hot foil just goes into the paper. Oh, so pretty. So pretty. Then we have this one. Place that on there. So just always pay attention to your direction of your center. And then this one's super easy. It just uses that shape at the top. I love it when it uses the shape that's there and you're just like, yep, I got that. Got that. Let me get that right into place. These look like little light bulbs. I think you could make a really cute, like little light bulb card with those. I don't know if anybody has. I haven't checked, but oh yes. I mean, game changer, Sue. Such a game changer. Such a game changer. If I had thought ahead, I would have taken out my hot foil to show you guys. If I had thought ahead, but these blends are beautiful. Okay. I did let the hot foil, I got a little overzealous with the glue here. I did let on this paper specifically, and I don't know if it mattered, but I did let it sit. Like I didn't rub it immediately. I just kind of let it sit and do its thing. And I let it sit for a while. I don't recall how long, but I was just puttering in my office, and honestly, I took it off. I set it aside and I forgot about it till probably the next day. And then I was like, oh, yeah. So, but I didn't have a problem, but I did let it sit. So maybe that was the key, is letting them letting them gel together. It's like when you stamp and you hold the stamp there for an extra couple seconds, just to make sure they're friends before you lift up the cardstock there. You got to make sure everybody's friends before you leave. All right. Oh my gosh. I mean, how pretty. How pretty. Okay. So then I'm just going to be careful when I pick it up because I don't want to pull any flowers off. There we go. So there's pansy number one. And look at that. Look at that. And it's almost like in real life because you've got those blends and you kind of don't know where they're going to go. So on here, and that's what I kind of like. So you can, oh, that was the other one, the third one I was going to do today, but I forgot to grab the gradient cardstock. But the gradient cardstock, as you can see, is beautiful as well. So I'm just going to compare them side by side, but you have a solid color. The great thing about the blend is like on this one, you can see it blending this one a little bit, that one a little bit. So you can see that blend of color. On the gradient, you get a solid color. Now, the trick with the gradient is, of course, you can ink blend on there because that is a regular cardstock texture. So you can blend on the gradients. So you can combine the best of both worlds where you have a colored piece of cardstock and you're blending on ink. So, but these blends will always have my heart. And I'm so grateful to JC for doing a project because I might have missed it. I don't know how I missed it in the release, and then here again, that beautiful light blue, and just this one seems to fade light to dark this way. But the fun thing is too, so let's go back and say you're stuck in a crafty rut. This is going to create a different kind of blend each time that you do it. How amazing is that? That, you just have different blends each time you do it. Okay, now folks, this is the toughy part. This is where we have to trim this down. So if anybody out there is scared by paper screams, I'm going to cut the paper now. So I'm sorry about hearing those screams, but yeah, I'm going to trim it down. I'm so sorry, guys. This paper, I don't know if this paper screams or not too. I don't know if it only screams once it has something beautiful on it. I will have to do a thing with research with card makers. Does the paper scream only after you've treated it, or does it always scream? Everybody likes to joke about that. No, the paper screams. So, okay. So I am going to do this. I'm going to have one of my sections, I'm trimming it pretty close so I can line this up at the top. Okay. And then I'm going to just cut off where the excess begins. And then I want to keep this side. I mean, it obviously doesn't matter because I can flip it around, honestly. Okay, so here's where I'm at. So I want to go ahead and I'm going to have my card be 4 1/4. So I'm going to line it up at 4 1/4, watch the paper screens. And then I'm going to do 5 1/2. Okay. Oh, okay. Are we all okay? No, okay after the paper screams. All right, so I'm going to throw those pieces away. Now, at this juncture, you have a very important decision to make because you're looking and you're saying, but what decision? You have a beautiful background in your hands. And yes, I do. Couple decisions that you have are you could do some ink blending through your beautiful die cut piece. Okay, that's your first decision. Your second decision, and I almost wish I had this piece of cardstock whole. Let's see if I can find something close in my pile here. I think that could possibly work for me. I wish I would have not used that green now, but I love that green. That's the other hard part. I recommend buying 2 of these when you buy one. So then if you use one side, you're not like, but my other, I love that color too. So this is the choice. You could layer this, and let me cut this down as well so that you guys can get, oh yes, iridescent spray. Oh my gosh, that would be amazing. Now, when you go to trim this down to 5 1/2, remember, you don't want to just lop off the top half, okay? Because it's 6 inches. You want to take a 1/4 inch off each so that it's even, okay? Because you don't want to just take away your whole light section or your whole dark section there. You want to try to keep it even. Yes, the sprays. That would be amazing. Amazing. Okay, so this is the other option though that we can go with right here. Okay, and then it gives some interest. So I'm going to show you both before I glue anything down. Okay, and then I'm going to tuck that one kind of up in there because they're friends. Oh, I didn't pull a stamp set for a sentiment. That's okay. I have my standby hot foil essential sentiments always ready to go because they're just stunning. And I love them so much. I've used a lot of them though. I've got to have another like hot foiling magic day. Okay. And then I like to build my leaves. So I like to have them. I like to have, of course, my visual triangle with my leaves. But I also like to build them up, kind of grouping them as I move through. Okay. So, and you know, you could use this piece. That's great. If that works for your project, if it doesn't work for your project, that's okay too. You can just go like this. It's gone. So you can have that there. And then my essential sentiments, I forgot to pull them, are right here. I have a little folder that I keep these in, and these have saved me so many times because they're ready to go. So I used that beautiful pink. I could possibly, that's like a pinky red though, and I think it's the wrong tone, but you know, we can always go. Gold is always an option. So we could tuck this kind of in down in here. Okay, I'll come in just a little bit more so you guys can see. So this is kind of what I'm thinking for the card. Okay, but again, it would be beautiful to do the sprays. It would be beautiful to do the ink blending. There we go. Oh, my brain. So there's our layout. So we have that option. You could also flip it. Okay, if you like that darker color up and you want it to go down. I mean, I almost like that look better. I'm glad I thought of that when I picked that up. But the other thing we can do, my dear friends, okay, the other thing is if you want to be traditional and just kind of keep it really clean and simple, you can pop it onto a white panel. And I do like the look on the white panel as well. So I really, really like that. Okay. And then, so I'm going to use my glue tape pen on this. So you're looking at, and I still have to add a few more leaves, but you're looking and you're going, oh my gosh, how are you going to remember this? Okay. My best piece of advice is at this juncture, go ahead and come in and take a photo. Okay. Not only does this save it for you, okay, so forever I can go back now to my photo and I can reference this layout. I can reference the colors, all of this. But also it helps me now how to get my layout back. Okay. So I am just going to move them kind of together in a group, kind of how I had them. And the leaves, I'm not as concerned about how they go kind of back in. I'm okay with how they go. But I'm going to use my glue tape pen, okay, because it avoids those circles. Now, once in a while, I get a little glue tape in an opening, but it's okay. It rubs right off. But this is great. Normally, you'd have a sticky mess all the way through, and it really, there are no areas like it might be on the side a little bit, but it doesn't go through where it's open. And that, my friends, is the magic of glue. Well, one of the many magical things about glue tape, the glue tape pens. All right, so we're going to put that down. I liked the white better. I hope it's okay. Now you could, I mean, there are endless opportunities with this die, right? You could do a shaker card. You could do some fun foam back there to pop that up and then put your arrangement on there. Just so many options. You guys do know that, of course, we're using foam tape, right? Julie, welcome. So excited to have you here with us. Okay, and so honored you joined our live today. All right, so I'm just going to pop I'm going to be good. If you guys have seen my lives before, you know 2 pieces is restraint for me. So I'm going to put that there. And then I really liked it up here, and I really liked that kind of petal coming down like that. So I'm going to keep them kind of snuggled up, okay? And then I'm going to put another piece of foam tape just so it holds that together. So I don't have to worry about them separating on me. And then I'm going to apply some glue just to the other portion there, just so it adheres beautifully to my project. Oh, fair warning. I feel the beautiful Emery Casey like a shark around my feet. You know it's crafty time. Emery Casey is on the scene. She loves to craft with everybody. I don't know. Honestly, I don't know if she likes to craft more or if she just likes to see everybody. All right, so we're going to pop that there, okay? Then this is where kind of my little trick of putting things up in the corner there works. So I can use just glue tape here. So I'm going to put that one up there. And then these two I'm going to layer together. Geez, I feel the green, using the green today, it feels a little St. Patrick's Day here. I just got a St. Patrick's Day card from a dear friend, so that's what made me think of it. Okay. I love making cards, but I have to tell you, I am probably the worst offender at mailing cards. I don't know what the difficulty is with putting a stamp on it and getting it to the mailbox, but let me tell you, the struggle is real. I don't know. Do any of you all feel that way out there? Do you guys have that struggle as well, getting that stamp and getting it to the mailman and in the box? And oh, I don't know why it's such a struggle, but it really is the struggle bus for me anyways. All right, here we go. So we have this, okay? So there we go. And each of my clusters has 2 leaves, okay? And then I can pop my sentiment. Might even, no, I don't like it there. You could put it down. You can put it down in the bottom. I like to have it so where it's part of the arrangement, so to speak. Does that make sense? There we go, Sue. I have a solution. Sue's going to address my cards. If I can just get one package out to Sue. Thank you, Sue, for the offer. Oh, that's awesome. Okay, so I'm going to hide this leaf because I don't want it to look like it's trapped. So it just kind of goes behind, and that's that. So there's our first card, and super simple because we're using those blends pieces of cardstock. So really, really super simple. I know this die is so wonderful. I love the die, and I love it together. It feels like it was made to go together, like peanut butter and jelly. Or peanut butter and fluff if you're in New England. All right, so now we got to bring our old friend back, right? It is time. And now my favorite thing in the world right now, ink blending. Yes, yes, yes. Yeah, and I think too, if you have somebody in your life, throwing my flower centers away here. If you have somebody in your life that you're trying to teach crafting, and they are new completely to it, and you'd like to introduce them. Oh, there's Emery. She's saying hello before she says goodbye. Then I think the blends and the craft a flower would be a great way, because there's no way you can go wrong. It's going to be beautiful. And I think especially in the beginning, I mean, we can remember back to when we were beginner crafters, having that success right out of the gate is really, really helpful. It makes you feel confident in moving on to trying other things. So I think this would be a great, if you have grandchildren, you're trying to get into the hobby, if you have a friend that you're trying to get into the hobby, I think this would be an absolute great way. I'm going to go up just a scotch, to get folks interested in crafting, because it's, like I said, you're going to be successful. Every single time you're going to be successful. You have the fun of kind of picking out papers, and, do you have to worry about the colors matching and matching? I don't think you have to, as much as when you're a beginner, especially, I'm going to start with silver sage. When you're a beginner, especially, I think you can enjoy the process. And ultimately, we see colors together every day. We wear clothes or pajamas. I mean, pajamas are clothes, but I know a lot of us live in pajamas. I'm going to ink blend all 4 of the colors on all of my pieces. And that's the wonderful thing, I think, about ink blending, is that I can pack that color in. But I think even somebody that has not crafted choosing colors, I think they will have fun. They'll feel confident in a project that they, ran through the die cut machine. It introduces them to die cutting. Ink blending, you may go like that and get a splotch and you're like, oh no, I can't. I'm not a good crafter. I did that and I got a splotch and oh no, and that's the thing, is that you really can feel like that sometimes. So I think it's a nice, when like the paper would be a good start. Never said it, but thought it. Yes. All right. And then I'm just going to add where I think it would be darker. Okay. And it can be a lighter toned pansy. And again, we're creating what we want, what Mother Nature did not give us. We're going to create it here. Okay. And as you go through, now with artist markers, I am definitely a person that starts darkest to lightest. But when I'm blending, I like to start lightest to darkest, because I can always add more light color if I need it, but I can't take that dark color away. It is there. It is staying. It's not making a move anywhere. It's going to stay. So I think it's good to start with that lightest color. And as you go up and as you build your color, so color 1, usually you put all over whatever you're blending, right? But color 2, you can start kind of outlining where you think you want your darkest colors to go. And you still have some play when you get to 3, which we're on eucalyptus now. So you still have some play there, right? You still have some ability to have movement in your colors. When you get to color 3, you can still, go back and add some of the lighter colors, or you can really put on the dark colors. But if you start with your darkest and you cover a lot of the flower, you're going to go back and say, oh goodness, I don't think I wanted that much. Now, if that happens to you, I recommend splatter. I recommend finishing the flower and just splatter. You just add the splatter. The splatter takes care of a multitude of paper crafting whoopsies. All right, and then I feel like this one's missing a little, so. Okay, and then if that looks too light to you, you can always come back in with like your first one, okay, and add some color. I probably would grab my second. So I'm going to come in with a little jade, because I just don't want it, like I was really light with that first color, so I'm going to blend it on so I have some control and just blend it together. And you can leave that white space. That is my most difficult. I struggle, man. I struggle with leaving white space, because it's like, oh, I want to put all the colors. I want all the things, all the colors. Oh, goodness. I just realized I did not cut any leaves. All right. Well, we are going to combine some leaves. I think I can cut some more quickly. All right. And then I'm going to do my warm sunshine with my flower centers here. And I'm just going to put it on there. Now you could, if you wanted to, I understand it's a little piece, so you may look at me and go, you're doing what now? I'm going to take a little caramel toffee, and I'm just going to come in on the side just to give it a little interest. The other thing I recommend is get your gel pen out, get your artist markers out, and just add some detail to that, because there's detail in the flowers, which is gorgeous. So if you wanted to, you could go ahead and you could add that in, additional detail. All right, so now we're going to do the blue hyacinth, and I think, or the water hyacinth. I think we're just going to make it. I have to cut some leaves, but all right. And if you wanted to, you could use the small blending tool and also kind of focus your color up at the top and the sides if you're ink blending and you're going to do 4 colors, because honestly, you don't really need it at the bottom, okay? Because that's where you're going to add in the darker colors. So I could use these as a guide and say, okay, where am I adding my lightest color? So that saves me from having to blend the whole thing. I mean, yes, they're a little bit different, but that's okay. It kind of helps that by blending. Ooh, sticking. All right, making sure I'm in the right color order here. Okay, so this one again is our second one. Okay, and I'm going to start blending up, seeing that I like where I'm going with this. Okay, and I do usually start blending around where the shape is, because you know to some extent that around that shape is going to be covered up. Okay, and that's either by floral pieces in the arrangement or it's by you adding darker color, because that's where I like to add a lot of my darker color. So for me, it works out well, because that's where I add most of my darker colors. Okay, here we go. And you can start adding, so like you can add, so it goes up kind of darker in the center. You can add so much detail with the blending tools. We also have those amazing detailed blending brushes that are fantastic. So you could add lots of great color and details with those. They pack the color so beautifully. Okay. So I'm going my flowers tend to be darker. I can't say no to a darker ink. I love it. That's my jam. And we all have to have a jam, right? So this one I'm doing a little bit different. I'm adding that kind of center because I wanted to show you guys that. Like you can add those to your flowers. Those kind of details where it looks like it's a little bit bent. And you can do that just with your blending tools, which is awesome. Okay. Then that's the other great thing. Your ink pads do not move. You can unturn them. You can turn them back with the mat. And now we have that amazing, huge sticky mat. So you really could fit a couple colors on there. Yeah, see, I went really dark with this. Oh, well, that's okay. I like dark flowers, and I cannot lie. All right. I do love the look. Like, I love looking at other people's, and they get such soft, beautiful florals. And I'm like, oh, someday I'm going to work on that. Someday. Add that to the list of things I would like to work on for techniques and such. All right. And again, I'm going to go back to Alpine Aster, the second one, not the first one. And you may like the first one better. That may work better in your crafting. You may like a lighter look. And if that's what works best for you, my loves, go for it. Okay. So the only thing we're missing here are some leaves. So we will run this through. We have 11 minutes. I think we can do it. I do have a blending brush for every color, but I will also say that I do this for a job. So I blend a lot. So it was just easier. I do also have the 12 pack of blending brushes that I use for, that I use just for the basic colors, meaning I have red, blue, orange, brown, gray. So I have one for every base color as well. Like if I'm in a rush and I don't want to pull out each individual brush, actually while that's going through, see if I can beat the machine. I don't think so. The machine beat me. So I'll show you this as well. This is one of our artist markers. It's the older version, but I just keep them in here. And this is one of every color. So yellow, blue, aqua, orange, red, brown, green, purple, like a dark yellow. So I have those, but yeah, since I do it for a job, it is easier a lot of times just to have one for each of the colors. Okay, and I'm dropping leaves on the floor, so that's why I'm missing for a moment, because leaves are everywhere. Actually, they kind of are at my house because the snow is missing, thankfully. And now we're seeing the leaves that were left from last fall. So it's kind of nice to see them though, because they're brown, but it kind of means like spring is near, spring is on its way. Now, what I'm going to do, even though I used the green for my branches, I'm going to go ahead, my florals, I'm going to go ahead and I'm also going to use it on my leaves because why not? Why not? This is our project we're creating, so we can do anything we want. Now, you could also mix the brown and green. You could add and create a darker shade. So that's also an option. Okay, and I probably will go into my little, those are the essential sentiments. It is a hot foil plate that I used for the previous one, the congrats. So just wanted to let you know that's what I've been using. So let's say I do this. Okay, so let's say I add this on here. Okay, and if I get any shade of brown, I'm okay with that. I like browns. I make brown. I do it on purpose. I make brown leaves because poor brown gets the nobody wants to make brown. I like brown. So if I make brown, I'm okay. I just am having a play with my leaves here. Oh, I just had a flashback when I said that to me in overalls in a leaf pile. I was pretty cute. Not my whole childhood, but in the leaves, I was pretty cute. All right, so now just to keep it different, okay, I'm going to do two things. First of all, because I used the blue over here, I'm just going to move my flower pieces real quick over there. Oh, I didn't get that one, so he'll be different. And then I'm coming in with the forest fern, okay, which is not the darkest. It's the next to darkest. Okay, and that way I'm going to have different on my leaves. But see how that blue there adds that really dark green there? And that's what I want. I want really dark leaves because I'm reusing colors that I used on my florals. So I've got that beautiful, deep, rich color down there. Oh, I almost did that to my flowers. That would have been sad. I would have been very sad because I didn't want to do that to my blue flowers. But also, just so you see, you can do that. And then I'm going to add even more with adding the darkest color in this family. Oh gosh, I guess I did grab the darkest color. Okay, so we're going with one color leaves. How you could fix that is I did do the blue, so I do have some of that interest there. And you could honestly bring that back in if you wanted to, the blue. But I just wanted them to stand out. And I feel like my leaves are standing out enough from my flowers. So let's quickly put our flowers together. But what I would do for the leaves, I would definitely do some splatter. And that's really, really going to create a beautiful effect. And you can just do splatter on, your leaves. You don't have to do it on your whole project if you are not a splatter person. Okay, and then so that was 1 and 2. Okay, use your layering guide if you're crafting along or if you're doing this later. Use your layering guide with you. Okay, so we got that. And then our final piece here. Okay, and I got a little glue, but that's okay. And then I'm just going to put a dab there and a dab there. And then we put the little flower center. So cute. So cute. So cute. Oh my God, how pretty is that? How pretty is that? And then we'll put the cards side by side as well so that you can see just the difference. Now, remember, if you wanted to get a head start, so say you use that gradient cardstock, okay, and you add a little ink blending, You wouldn't have to worry. Remember how I went back at the end because some of the areas were too light, according to my darkest areas? That you wouldn't have to do because the gradient cardstock, that lightness would stay for you. So that would save you kind of a step as well. But don't forget the gradient cardstocks. I forgot to pull those, and we didn't have time to make 3 cards today anyways. Oh, I always just want to craft and craft and craft and craft and craft and craft with you guys. Okay. And then I'm just going to bring in and see, but look at the detail and definition. Just those 2 colors adds. It's like so nice. I love it. Woo! I think I got a little glue happy there. Let's see if we can pull that with us a little bit. There we go. All right. Little glue happy. That's the good thing about using the glue tape runner, but sometimes I like liquid glue. Not always, but sometimes. All right. Then we have our other panel, right? And this could be the one that you want to, just ink blend on and add some color. That could be beautiful as well. I'm going to go ahead and just put at the top. Woo! Open my tape thing here. So I'm just going to go down. And then I will worry about it on the other end. And then I'm just going to line up the top. Get my piece of hair out of there. Just going to line up the top right there. And I think that's in position to be in position, as my husband would say. And then because I have the guide, I can just bring in big scissors. I don't even have to get out my trimmer. But I think having the longer scissors helps when you're trying to cut a straight line against an edge like this. So I like to bring them out when I can. Okay. And then we'll grab a sentiment. Our flowers are together. We'll pop down an arrangement. And we'll have 2 cards in an hour. Shucks, I was hoping for 3. But I gave the 3rd card idea. So there's 2 in an idea. So can we call it 2.5? All right, so there we go. Very beautiful. But again, don't forget, you can use this as like a mask as well, which would be gorgeous. Okay, I guess I was in a bluey purpley mood today because that's kind of what I picked. Now you also can, now this might scare some people. You also can, hang your flowers off the edge and trim them. You could also put 1 flower and put a bunch of leaves. But I think what I'm going to do is I think I'm going to keep it kind of over here. Okay. And then bring over some of my leaves that we cut. Okay. And then I'm going to tuck them in here. Now, I always remembered from my scrapbooking days, you don't want to leave any like trapped space. But we have some smaller leaves, so I'm not going to worry about them as much over there. So where I want to kind of put up here. Okay. And I'm going to tuck a couple of the smaller leaves into down over in here. Let's tuck this one over here. And I think the leaves give enough of a difference. I'm not having a problem with that. Oh, thank you so much. And I think that's the really cool thing is that, with this particular, the Craft a Flower, this particular subscription, you can do so many techniques. I mean, the others you can too. You can do watercolor, you can do ink blending, you can do so many things. You can do it on colored paper. I think, most of the techniques I've shown today, you can apply, but I love the Craft a Flower for that kind of simplicity that you can just take a pad of paper, go wild. Say you're, at a doctor's appointment waiting for a loved one, and you have your mini blossom and you're able to just go through and cut a bunch of leaves so that, you cut a bunch of the flowers. So you have a bunch of flowers made. I used to do that when I went with my husband. I would bring things that I could do repetitively because we were usually there for over 8 hours. So I had time, and they would bring in the little table I could use to kind of take up my space. And he was sleeping. So it worked out well to have crafty things to kind of do. Of course, they didn't have the fabulous craft a flower back then, but I would have loved that. I would have literally taken that blends paper pack or two, and I would have, because 8 hours is a long time, and I would have just gone wild. Now, you can also change the orientation. So you notice if I put it this way, both of the flower centers are going up. You can also kind of put it askew. I would do it that way because it's covering my floral, but you can also put it kind of askew so it's a little bit different, so it's not matchy. Although I said I was matchy, and then I'm like, oh, put it askew. And then we will come back in here. Like I said, I just did them in I think 8 different colors. So I just had a wonderful time. And then for here, I would just pop that down there. And you could even, if you are a dimension crafter like me. Oh, I'm so sorry. I went over by 2 minutes. I thought I was good. I apologize. I'm so sorry, you guys. All right. This will be it, I promise. So I didn't technically get 2.5 cards in an hour, but I was close. It's like those stories you hear about how great your parents were in those days, It's like, oh, I walked to school 45 miles in the snow and I didn't even have a jacket or shoes. Remember those stories? Oh, goodness. All right. Oh, I got a little ink or something on there. All right, that's a problem for later. So then I can just kind of tuck it in here. Okay, I like that. And there we go. So showing the craft a flower again. I hope it was a fun second look for you. And it sounded like it might have been the first look. So I'm glad we had a look at these today. So here we go. Here are the 2 cards. Both beautiful, both pretty quick cards over well. Yes, uphill both ways. Absolutely, Miss Tam. Oh, good. Oh, good. Oh, good. I'm so glad. It's an extra 3 minutes was okay. So there are both of the cards. And thank you so much for joining me. I hope you have a little experimentation with the honeycomb daisies backdrop, ink blending, splatter through it. So many options because you can cut it from so many things. And then the beautiful craft a flower, using it with the papers, using it with the gradients. You could even, if you have some alcohol ink backgrounds, if you have some watercolor backgrounds, and you're like, you know what? I don't like this background. Chop it up with a craft a flower. You're not even going to notice what you didn't like anymore. And you're going to have a very unique, one-of-a-kind, gorgeous flower. So use up some of those backgrounds or pieces maybe you weren't crazy about how they blended. So, and thank you so much for giving me the extra couple minutes. It's always fun. I will see you again on Monday. I'm so excited to see you. And I hope you have a wonderful weekend. From all of us at Altenew, thank you so much for allowing us to help you craft your lives. Have a good night, everybody. Bye.